This was supplied to me by Audio Connection. Audio Connection is located in Sydney and they have a wide range of high quality audio systems. They source their products from world-renowned hi-fi manufacturers. So don't hesitate to contact them or physically go in and experience their hi-fi setups and their hi-fi showrooms. Before we begin, I just wanted to say the following. My room acoustics and equipment will be different to yours, so the sound may differ, and sound is a personal and subjective experience. That out of the way, let us begin. Well, Kef originally formed in the early 1960s and was named after Kent Engineering and Foundry, aka Kef, and was initially headquartered in Maidstone, Kent, UK. The founder, Raymond Cook, an ex-BBC electrical engineer, was keen to experiment with new materials and technologies to produce and create speakers that could reproduce music naturally and give them a sound as good as the original performance. Fast forward to 1970, and Kef received the first prestigious Queen's Award for Export Achievement as the company became known beyond the UK. In the 1980s, Kef maintained its reputation for quality and excellence with its highly respected reference series. And in 1988, Kef designed and patented their first Uni-Q speaker driver. This driver continues to get enhanced and upgraded throughout the years and is still used in their speakers today. In 1990, Kef were noted for the rise of home theatre, and in 1993, Kef introduced some of their speaker models with THX certification. And fast forward even further to 2011, Kef released the Blade speaker. The Kef engineers were given free rein to create the ultimate loudspeaker, and it's a speaker I would love to review or even listen to. And here's a little bit on those speakers.
The purpose of the concept blade was to give our engineers free rein to deliver the best possible acoustic performance that they could.
Blade arrangement of drivers in its purest form is a tweeter, and we surround that with a mid-range driver to form a Uni-Q array.
But today I'm going to look at the Kef Concerto bookshelf speakers, which is a three-way speaker with the Kef Uni-Q driver. Now the Kef Q Concerto speaker is a three-way ported bookshelf speaker, and it's Kef's largest in their bookshelf Q speaker range, and it's also paying tribute to the original 1969 Concerto speaker, which was their first three-way stand-mounted speaker. Now these speakers weigh around 9.5 kilos and their impedance is 4 ohms, and they have a sensitivity of 85 dB, and the amplifier requirements in regards to watts is 15 to 180 watts. These speakers come in 3 colorways: satin black, satin white, and walnut. Now these speakers also have stands that they can go on that can be purchased separately. So if you're not putting these speakers on your TV unit or your console unit, you can purchase these SQ1 stands as well. Now these stands can go with these speakers, the Q3 Meta and the Q1 Meta speakers. And the stands are also hollow inside, so you can hide those speaker cables as well. And the base of the stands, it does give you a little bit of a minor adjustment there, just in case your floor isn't completely level, so you can get those stands level. And these stands come in slate grey and mineral white. So I was pretty fortunate that they sent these stands out, because I was able to put the speakers on there, and you know what, it did look really nice. And you got to think of stands as it's a piece of furniture. You know, people will go out and spend money on a TV unit and so forth. So if you really want to fit that off really well, maybe consider those stands as well. Okay, so these speakers are also using the Uni-Q technology, and it's the 12th generation of this technology. And here's a little info on the Kef Uni-Q technology. So the Uni-Q, what Kef have done here, and it's a technology where they are up to the 12th generation, I believe, so they keep on improving on this technology. Kef have placed the tweeter precisely at the acoustic center of the bass and mid-range cone. This singular point source disperses the sound evenly throughout the room. What Kef want to do here is eliminate a singular sweet spot and allowing everyone to experience the sound, no matter where you are seated. It can also make the speaker, helps making it not a room sensitive speaker. Yeah, a nice speaker. I actually think they're punching above their weight a little. Now, the speakers themselves, they're not room sensitive, and I think that helps with the Uni-Q drivers. I would describe these speakers as, in terms of sound, sweet and smooth. Now, that bass it's not incredibly deep, but it's quite balanced. And that's fine with me, because for a bookshelf speaker, I don't want a really full, deep bookshelf speaker. And I had my subwoofer hooked up to these, and it was a perfect combo. Now, the subwoofer was 100 watts, and I just reckon it just balanced it really well. Now, one thing that I really liked about these speakers was I was doing some study on my laptop, and it surprised me how big the sound was at low volumes. And every now and then I would actually look up from my laptop, look at the volume on my amp, and I'd be like, did I turn it up? And I did that more than once, and it was different songs. So I like what I get from these speakers. It's kind of larger than life, but it was at a low volume, and it just surprised me. And that also goes for the detail. At this price range, I was surprised at the detail these speakers gave. And when you're listening, I think, why I kind of describe the sound as sweet and smooth, I think it's because of this driver. I was a little surprised, but it grew on me really quick. And last night I was on my laptop, and the other few nights I was on my laptop, and I like to sometimes just switch off. And I've got a video on that where you just switch off, and I just wanted to listen to the music. And it was in the background, and I like when speakers make me kind of look up and go, hey, that's nice, I like that. Or it brings something to the music. And the Kef does that. These Kef speakers do that. Now, they do come with a grill, but I just left them off so you could see what it's like. Now, when it comes to the stands, a lot of people, I won't get stands. You might put them on your TV unit. Totally fine. But think of speaker stands like a piece of furniture. People spend money on their lounge, and they spend money on their TV unit. Well, to complete the whole look, get the stands that come with it. And as you saw earlier, you can actually put the speaker cable up through the stands, so it gives you that clean, neat look. Now, you're probably wondering, well, Concord, I can see that it's because my speaker cables aren't long enough, because they're pre-put purchased length, and I was very specific on the length. However, if I was going these speakers, well, I'd buy longer length to cater for it to go up through the stands. But look, on the whole, if you're in an apartment or you're putting these somewhere, well, I've got them in this lounge room, and you know, they covered the room pretty well. But if you're also in an apartment and the room's quite small, these aren't going to be overwhelming, and they still sound nice at low volumes. The only little thing I'll say about these speakers, and it's not a big issue at all because I really like the sound I got from these, was the sensitivity is around 85 dB. Now, if these speakers are going to replace other speakers you've got, you may find, may not, hypothetically you got the volume at minus 30. You may find that you may have to turn these up to minus 25 or minus 27. So they might just need a little bit more driving, but that's my only little thing about these speakers. But the speakers themselves are punching above their weight a little. In Australia, they go for 2K. I think that's pretty good for what you're getting. And I know I've said this about other speakers, but that's the thing about HiFi. I like HiFi. I kind of get excited when I see brands like, I had Paradigm even, it was one of the first speakers I ever had. And when I see them, you know, producing something really good, I get enthusiastic to say, well, how far can you push your sound? I wanna see that. And Kef, I think it was in 2022, they were on my radar. And I remember hearing, I think it was the reference range, the Q7s, or I could have that wrong, and I actually did a double take. I kind of looked and went, hey, that's pretty good. That's coming from Kef. That's pretty awesome. And now that I've had more of a chance to spend some time with these speakers, I do want to see what else they're producing, especially the blade speakers. I'd love to see what kind of sound that is. And that's what HiFi is there to be enjoyed, so go have a look. Well, the Kef Concerto speakers, it's a speaker that has little hidden surprises in the sound, and I found it a sweet, smooth speaker. And I must say it is slightly punching above its weight in regards to price. So go have a listen, and hopefully later I can get more of the Kef range and give you my thoughts. And look, if you come to my channel, thank you so much for the view, and if you've subscribed, that is just awesome. I really appreciate you coming here and listening to my content and watching my content, because it's just, I really do appreciate it. It's just awesome. So thank you for coming to my channel, viewing my content, and if you're subscribed, that's fantastic. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Well, I'll see you next time, and remember to enjoy your HiFi, your music, and your movies.